Coming up on the Wrestling Brethren podcast, we make our predictions for WrestlePalooza. Welcome into the Wrestling Brethren podcast. This is episode 533. I'm your host, Josh Wiener. With me tonight is Jarret Aubrey and Jarret. How the hell are you?
Well, Josh, I am looking forward to talking about the ECW branded, well, we have to call it that because it's the old name, PLE, pay-per-view, coming up this weekend, because I think there might be some shenanigans going on.
It's funny that they say that, there's going to be surprises and things you haven't seen before. And that's all because they're trying to drum up the new audience with ESPN and all that stuff. And they're doing pre-shows with ESPN and a sports center like fashion. And I don't know. I think it's all blowing smoke up ESPN's ass every time Triple H says, you're going to see things you never saw before. And then nothing happens. So I'm not going to get my hopes up for any of that stuff. Whatever happens, happens. And we'll let the chips fall where they may. And, any other analogies you can think of or catchphrases or whatever the hell they're called. I'm losing my train of thought, but that's all right.
We need a new Triple H hashtag. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, right. So there is no news or top stories or any of that stuff. You can catch that on our previous episode 532 and our next episode 534. This is strictly predictions, so it'll be a shorter than usual episode. Right now, as of the time we record, there are 5 official matches. There is rumor of a 6th, so we will throw in a prediction on that, but I don't anticipate it happening because potentially of an injury to one of the contestants. What the fuck? One of the participants.
One of the people in the match.
Yeah, right. So we'll talk on that shortly, but we will make our predictions and give our confidence points for what we do have predicted. And I'm only going 1 through 5. We'll talk about the 6th one somewhere in the middle. We're not gonna. I'm changing my mind on the fly here. I don't think it's gonna happen. And if it gets announced on SmackDown, then we'll call it offline and make adjustments as needed. But I have a feeling that the injury is legit, even though I haven't heard a lot about it, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So we will start things off with what was just announced as the opening match. Apparently somebody has somewhere to be, and so we're going to get this out of the way with John Cena's retirement tour continuing against the Beast, Brock Lesnar.
When this first got announced, I'm like, oh, geez, well, Brock's just going to come in and just going to slaughter John Cena. And then I'm like, well, we're getting really close to the end of the retirement tour. Do we want to have him keep getting beat up? He's lost some big matches recently. So I'm going to go with John Cena to win. However, because it's Brock Lesnar, who knows what shenanigan deals and stuff have been going on in the background. So I'm just going to assign 1 confidence point to that match.
Yeah. Right off the bat, we're seeing eye to eye because I also am picking John Cena. And I also am putting 1 confidence point on it because we all thought Cena was going to win SummerSlam 2014 and Suplex City was invented. So you just never know. there's only 5 dates left after WrestlePalooza on John Cena's retirement tour. I'd like to see him face someone else and not just have him face Brock until the final Saturday night's main event. So I'd like Cena to win and move on, but there's always that sliver that they could just have Lesnar kill him and then it'll be Cena Lesnar, however many, whatever number we're on when we get to Perth. So yeah, I don't know. In a tag team match, the Usos take on the Vision.
Oh boy, I only assigned this 2 confidence points because I couldn't give it 1 because I was giving the John Cena match 1. I'm gonna pick the Vision because I think there's something's gonna happen. There's gonna be shenanigans between Jay and Jimmy over this whole whatever Jay is going through. Who knows? Even LA Knight, could show up and do something. I don't know, but there's something going to happen in this match, and I think as a result, there'll be a fustercluck, there'll be a miscommunication, there'll be something going on, and the Vision will take this one.
Yeah, we agree again. Not on the points, but I do have the Vision winning, and I'm not 100% certain Jay's going to be full on heel, but we will advance the character, yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's going to be full heel either, but something's going down at WrestlePalooza. That much I know. I feel it in my bones.
In your ESPN $30 a month bones? No, I'm just kidding.
I got Netflix, bitch.
Well, thanks to a certain 3 letters, so do I. All right. So we will get to match 3, and then we'll talk about the 6th match afterwards. But match 3 on my lineup here is for the vacant women's world title. And I've never seen a match put together for a vacant title that has so little build, and I don't want to say it doesn't make sense, but it's just had a weird feeling to it. Stephanie hasn't been on TV since July in front of the crowd. She's been in backstage segments for like 30 seconds at a clip. And meanwhile, Io's in a soap opera drama with Asuka and Kairi. And yeah, this is really all over the place and not in a good way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is where we're at. Stephanie Vecchia versus Io Sky for the vacant women's world title.
Yeah, we mentioned that I think a couple episodes ago. Is how do you somebody as popular as Stephanie Vecchia is right now? Like, how do you not have her on TV? But I mean, we can lament that for hours, I think. But for this match, the whole soap opera going on between Io and Kairi and Asuka, I think will play a role in this match. I think that Io Sky being a fairly recent champ, and hopefully, Stephanie getting back on TV means she's here to stay, and she's destined for that proverbial rocket pack. So I'm going to go with Stephanie as your new women's world champion, and I'm going to assign 3 confidence points to that.
Yeah, I pretty much concur, and I have also assigned 3 confidence points, and the person who I want to win and be the champion, I will try out a new impression here. Oh yeah, man.
Oh my god. Oh.
Shucky ducky quack quack.
Jeez.
Oh, by the way, and this is spoiling something, but it's also something you may watch and rewind and watch and rewind and watch and rewind in that main event of NXT Homecoming. It's the 6 women tag with Fatal Influence versus Stephanie. Rhea was supposed to be Tiffany, but she's quote unquote injured and was replaced by Lyra Valkyria. But there is a double dueling Devil's Kiss with Stephanie and Rhea.
Oh, damn. Okay.
So, yeah. Anywho, so before we get on to the 4th match, I'm going to talk about this rumored 6 match. And the reason it's even been brought up is because people have seen the match card t-shirt that's at the Indianapolis store, WWE store or whatever. And it shows a 6 match that hasn't even been announced. Well, the aforementioned quote unquote injured Tiffany Stratton was supposed to defend against Nia Jax and Jade Cargill. But I haven't really seen anything from like Fightful or anybody anywhere confirming that she's actually injured other than just in storyline from Nia taking her out last week. There's been like rumors that she's concussed, but that's just speculation, and I haven't really seen anything concrete. So either they're going to announce it on SmackDown tomorrow, which I hate title matches being announced 24 hours prior. But if she is injured and it is legit, it's not going to be on the card, obviously. So it's either going to be the 6th match or it won't be. So, like I said, I don't even know if it's legit or not. Tiffany's injury, she wasn't medically cleared for Homecoming, so I don't know. So if it gets brought up on SmackDown and announced and added, then we'll flip up, we'll add it, we'll move around whatever confidence points we need to, and we'll make those adjustments. And if it's not, then we're set. So there's that.
And even if it's on a shirt, remember, hashtag card subject change.
Right. And the shirts were made before she got injured, if she is injured. So there you go.
Hey, Josh, remind me when we're done. On
yes.
Our previous episode, I meant to tell you a breaking news story about someone from AEW, but I'll tell it on this one as a little bonus story after we're done. Don't let me forget.
Gotcha. Bonus content. All right. That brings us to the WWE title match. Cody Rhodes defends against Drew McIntyre.
Oh dear, I would love to see Drew McIntyre as champion for a while. Give him a nice long run. I unfortunately don't think that just bringing Cody back, he's not just coming back after he's just had a child and he's not going to lose. So I'm going to go with Cody to retain, and I'm giving that 5 points.
Yep, it's almost like Roman's entire run. Roman to win or Roman to retain, and if we were doing confidence points at that time, all the confidence points on Roman.
Yeah. Everybody, all the other matches get 0 confidence points, and the Roman match it's like whatever.
We're just taking them all,
yeah,
and giving them to our tribal chief. I acknowledge you, my tribal chief. Yeah, here's the thing. Drew's got to be the unluckiest bastard in the world that he won his world title in front of nobody. He then lost the title in front of nobody. He challenged for the title again in front of partial fans when it was the first WrestleMania, when fans were allowed back at 60% capacity or whatever it was. And then he got clowned in that match against Bobby Lashley. and then he wins it back a couple of WrestleManias later in front of a gigantic crowd, and then he gets cashed in on. So
yep.
Yeah, I'd love for Drew to have a title and some kind of a run, but it's not going to happen.
Not only cashed in on, but screwed and cashed in on.
Yeah. So, well, that was his own doing.
Well, true.
He screwed himself.
And Drew screwed Drew.
Yeah, right. Put that on a t-shirt. Yeah, so I am agreeing across the board, Cody and 5 confidence points, because that is, if anything is set in stone to happen Saturday, that be it. All right, in what could be the main event, although the WWE title could be as well, I can tell you the Usos versus the Vision will not be the main event. They could be really super cool and put Stephanie and Io in the main event, but I don't think they've had enough TV time in the build to warrant the main event. So, in the final match on my run sheet for the mixed tag of husband and wife versus husband and wife, the match we never thought we would see, the participant we never thought we would see. CM Punk and AJ Lee take on Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch.
Just when you say that, that's crazy.
In the year 2025, no less.
Right? Well, all I've got left is 4 confidence points. That's the only number I haven't used yet. So that'll be on this one. And kind of the same logic that I used earlier with Cody. It's like, this is AJ's first match since returning to fanfare and gigantic reactions and all this stuff. And plus her pinning Becky, which is, I'm assuming, what the finish could be, that just lines it up, especially after, if there's like some shenanigans with Punk or something, lines her up for a title shot later. She could be the one that dethrones Becky Lynch. So I'm going to go with CM Punk and AJ Lee for confidence points.
And for those listening, he's only doing that because of AJ Lee. Otherwise, he would not be picking CM Punk in a match.
He's not wrong, folks.
Well, here's the thing. If they wanted to do something out of the ordinary, not saying that it's never been done before, but out of the ordinary for the debut on ESPN, they could have made this a double title match with whoever gets the fall wins. If somebody from Punk and AJ gets the fall, a pinfall or submission, they win that title. So if Punk pins or submits Rollins, world champ. If AJ submits or pins Becky, intercontinental champ. But they didn't do that. So it's just for bragging rights or to continue the individual feuds post PLE. So I only have 2 confidence points left. So that will go here. And I am also taking Team Chicago.
Nice.
Now, if this was football, that would be Becky and Seth because they're Bears fans. But, we're talking about the people who actually reside in Chicago as opposed to the people who just pretend they do. All right. Well, before we leave, Jarret has some bonus news that he would like to share. And then we will bid you adieu and enjoy the double wrestling on Saturday because there are 2 pay-per-views separated out because Tony didn't want to go head-to-head. Although he told everybody on the press call that he wants fans to enjoy both shows. Yeah, right. Since when? Anyway, Jarret, the floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. Just an interesting tidbit. It's not anything major, but I went to the gym after work today. And I was wearing my white We the Ones t-shirt. So, of course, I was approached by one of the staff who is also a wrestling fan. We chat once in a while. So when he sees me wearing that shirt, or I have a few different tribal chief shirts that I like to wear, he always puts the one up in the air when I do that. So he comes over to talk to me while I'm warming up. And he's like, "You know who was here last night?" I'm like, "No, sorry, I wasn't here, but what happened? What's going on?" He goes, "MJF was here." I'm like, "What?" It was like, "You follow it. You know who MJF is?" I'm like, "Yeah, I absolutely know who he is." And he's like, "Yeah, he was here working out. He was here for like 2 hours last night. And I wasn't quite sure it was him. So I went and checked the log after. And sure enough, it's like Maxwell Friedman signed in. So I guess he bought a membership for like a month or something. He's in Winnipeg shooting a movie.
Wow.
Yeah. And
then tomorrow or Saturday, he's in Toronto. Toronto.
Yeah, so I guess he stopped by. And in classic, MJF all heel all the time persona that he has, he didn't talk to anybody or very minimally. He did not wipe down any of the equipment after he was done. So I just thought that was kind of funny. He was just still in full heel mode while he was traversing the gym. So yeah, I missed him by a day.
Wow. Well, I was going to throw one of these things on the news on our last episode, but I knew you weren't that big of a Maxwell Jacob Friedman fan, nor are you a fan of Andrade so much. But they've been having a bit of a Twitter beef.
Oh God!
Since Andrade's been released by WWE. And so they're trying to get a match together in Mexico, not for AAA, because obviously that's WWE, but maybe CMLL or whatever. Yeah. And so they've been beefing back and forth on Twitter. And then Andrade's last comment on September 17th, which was yesterday as we record, said, "Okay, see you soon. Be careful in Mexico." And then Maxwell's retort was, "I love Sammy," meaning Guevara, in parentheses, "no, I don't, but I'm not him. Fucking try me." Because if you remember in AEW, Andrade and Sammy Guevara had a backstage altercation that led to Sammy getting suspended, Andrade getting suspended, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. And then Maxwell doubled down and he goes, "I'll boot you off the face of this earth faster than Charlotte booted you out of your house." I was like,
snap.
Oh, damn.
He went there. Oh, shit.
So, yeah. MJF healing it up on the socials as he usually does.
Nice.
All right. Well, that is our episode. That is our predictions. Enjoy whatever show or shows you will enjoy this weekend. And we will be back next time to discuss what we saw and what went down. So until then, once again, thank you for listening, downloading, and subscribing. And we will talk to you next time. Thank you for listening to this episode. You can subscribe to the Wrestling Brethren podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast fix to hear the latest discussion from the Wrestling Brethren. Visit the mothership, if you will, at twbpodcast.com, the online home of the Wrestling Brethren podcast. Let us know your thoughts, questions, and comments on Twitter/X at TWBP Show, on Facebook at facebook.com/Behind the Squared Circle, on Instagram at The Wrestling Brethren, and now on Blue Sky at TWB Podcast. You can follow Jarret on Twitter/X at The Bacon Rev. You can follow Seth at Lord Zandrax, and you can follow Josh at Southpaw Josh. You can find Jarret and Josh at Blue Sky 2, at The Bacon Rev, and at Southpaw Josh. Thank you again for listening, and we'll talk to you again soon with more from the Wrestling Brethren.